All right, everybody, we're right on the money, and it's time to begin. This is our last team call for August. Where did the spring go? Where did the summer go? Whew. You know what? It went. It happened. It's in the past, and we get to start afresh every single day. Did you know that, you guys? We have the future in front of us. We can transform, we can change, we can choose to commit, we can let go of the past, we can change our daily habits, one habit at a time. I just want us all to sit here for a minute and ponder that the power really is ours. If you are worrying about the past or sitting in a place of beating yourself up, anybody ever do that? Living in this place of shame and confusion of what should have been, could have been, would have been. Oh my goodness, let go of it, because you know what? It's already been covered. It's gone. There's really nothing you can do about it now. If you are convicted about something, guess what? If you're a Christian on this call, you can repent and receive forgiveness. If you were really off and you know you were in sin and laziness or not being a good steward or complaining or moaning and groaning and not trusting in his promises, you guys, you know why I'm able to say that to you right now? Because that's where I can find myself. Okay. His mercies are new every single morning. I was talking to my team on Monday. Monday seems like ages ago. I don't know why. On Monday, we do a call called Monday Mood, where we try to get ourselves focused for the week ahead. And I was talking about athleticism and sports and team sports and how those guys, like, they get on the field ready to go. They're dressed out. And you know what? They're there because they cannot let their teammates down. They push themselves to the ultimate. When they fall down, they get up. When their friend falls down, they're like, no, get up, get going, right? When they're losing, they all feel it together. And, you know, so much can happen during halftime when the coach takes them in the back and gives them some truth, maybe gives them a little spanking. Maybe some of you guys just need a really big hug and a really big cry, but I just want to say it's time to get back on the field. And I am so grateful that corporate is creating this stir about leaders retreat, and that they started it kind of early this year, you guys. Starting at convention, we've all been like, when is it starting? Oh boy, something big is coming here, right? So do not forget right now with this sale, I just want to make mention of this big drink sale we have going on right now. Get everybody started on the drinks. Talk about the drinks. Go to them and say, I want to get you restarted. You know, I feel like we probably shouldn't have started with capsules. Let's get you feeling like really good within 1 or 2 weeks on these drinks. You guys sign up new people with the drinks. Run with the drinks. Change up your own goals for the rest of the month with the drinks. Decide, I want to grow my team by 18 points, just myself. I have control over that. I don't have control over what my downline is doing, but I have control over what I'm doing. I can do my best, forget the rest, and let's go. Let's run, okay? So I am so excited to hear from our dear Bonni Greiner. She is an emerald under Charlotte Seams. We go way back. I think I met her on a like little spa adventure that we both earned under Brenda's line. I think we were both rubies. Do you remember, Bonni? So I'm going to just pass the call off to her because she has a sweet friend that is training us tonight, and that is Sapphire Marion Raub. I said her name correctly, Raub. Watch this lady. I hear she's very inspirational. And you guys, she has some practical tips for us today concerning ranking up and being a momentum maker, which I know we all want to do. We're all growing our skill sets here together. I don't care if you aren't even silver yet, or you've lost all your points, or you are I don't know, a gold, senior ruby, diamond. I'm here taking notes. Okay. Bonni, take it away, please.
Yes, I would advise you to take notes. Marion and I met years ago in a different venue completely. And then, as life would have it, we ended up together on a shuttle to an airport. Now, there's several airports in our area. We're one town apart. there's shuttles about every 7 or 8 minutes, and we end up on the same shuttle going to the airport for a Plexus event. And we got to talking, and she was saying that she was a new Emerald, and she was saying this was just last year. By March of this year, 2024, she was going to be Sapphire. And guess what? So I would like her to share. It's an amazing story, and Marion will be the first to tell you. She'll introduce herself, a busy mom of four boys. There's nothing different about Marion than any of the rest of us. Would you agree, Marion? So I'm going to introduce Marion. She'll tell you a little bit about her, and then the amazing way that she went from Emerald to Sapphire. It's really not a whole lot difference between getting to silver, senior silver. All right, so Marion, take it away.
Thanks, Bonni. That was really fun when we met on the shuttle. We were like, wait a second. So I did. So on the shuttle, it was I'm thinking November 2nd, maybe, because we were going to Fort Lauderdale. And we chatted briefly on the shuttle, and I said, I'm gonna be Sapphire in March. And she's like, that's awesome. And so we kept in pretty close contact then after that. So so why did I decide Sapphire in March? There were a lot of reasons. So when I ranked Emerald, we were, it was the previous May 2023. And it was a lot of good stuff. There were a lot of people who actually, it just didn't go according to plan, but new things happened, better things happened. It all happened the way it was supposed to happen. But I learned a lot from that. And with the way we had leaders retreat and then leaders retreat right away, there were people who were getting really excited on my team about sharing and earning the trips. So thank you, Plexus, for doing leaders retreat back to back. It seemed crazy at the time, but now I'm super thankful. So by the time November came around, we were already halfway into the second leaders retreat, and I could see some people who were really working really hard to earn Punta Cana. And so I just was like, well, I feel like I have the people to make it happen. So then how do I make it happen? So I told Bonni, the first thing I did was I decided I was going to become a Sapphire, and I put a time on it. And I chose March because I knew there were a lot of reasons, but basically momentum in the company, momentum in my personal life. Knew I was going to Kenya for 3 weeks in January and February, and then we were going to Punta Cana, and I was like, well, the first possible month we can do it is really March. So March it was, and I just started asking myself, what can I do? How can we do it? What can we set in place now that's going to set us up for better success in March? Because it's a big jump. I was hanging around 1,500 points after I hit Emerald, and I was just kind of hanging around 1,500 points. And I'm like, well, I don't know. This seems kind of bold of me to say I'm going to be Sapphire in March, but I keep seeing other people rank up. And I'm like, so if they're enrolling people and they're growing their teams, why can't I? So I just kept thinking, how am I going to do it? And obviously a lot of doubts came in my mind. I enrolled one person in December, January, and February, combined one person. And I was like, who do I even think I am to say I'm going to be a Sapphire if I can't enroll people? And I was like, you know what? Nope, I can do it. I was like, I can do it. I can do it. It doesn't matter if I'm enrolling people. I know how to enroll people. I can teach other people how to enroll. I've enrolled lots of people. It's just a season for me. So we can still do it. I wasn't going to let anything really, really talk me out of it. So I keep calendars. Do you guys, I don't know what you do, but I keep calendars, and Basically, I have a calendar that's just for keeping track of points. And when we're in contests, I keep track of the contests too. And so and so every once in a while, I'll put in like, opportunity call or messenger event on the calendar, but I really try to keep it just for like points, credits, enrollments. And even this month, I mean, this is not part of this story, but this month I actually started tracking one of my girls' points too, because I'm just really curious about like why her team isn't growing. And so anyway, I'm tracking her points too. So I tracked my points. I tracked my points, and so I knew I can actually look. I pulled up last March's calendar, so I could help tell the story. So I ended. Okay, I need you to guess. Yeah, Sapphire is 3,000 points, Emerald is 1,500 points. And so I ended February at, does anyone have any idea? 2,000 points. 2,000 points. And so again, I'm like, who do I think I am? But I was like, I don't know. I just feel like we can do it. The highest number of enrollments we ever had on our team was, I think it was 78 at that point in 1 month. And in March, we had 171 enrollments. And yeah, we had 23 new brand ambassadors that month. And so I just, at the end of February, like immediately that night, probably, I started thinking, okay, 1,000 points plus some. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? So I came up with like 1, 2, 3, 5 plans, 5 best case scenarios, different ones. And so I was like, well, you know what? All it takes is 100 points a day. We can do that. And then, you know, they were doing the Apple Watch incentive that month. And so I was like, if we had 30 people earn an Apple Watch this month, done. Who doesn't want an Apple Watch? I was like, I'm like, you know what? If we had 53 new silvers, like this is easy. But I'm like, sure, 53 new silvers, it's like 1 or 2 a day. Let's do it. So I just came up with all these different ways that we could do it. And then I was like telling my team, I'm like, all it's going to take is getting a few Apple Watch earners and then we can do it. Um, so I did that. And then I also planned a retreat because I knew in November that I was going to be a Sapphire in March. So, and I know that I can't grow 1,000 points myself. I mean, I can't even enroll people at this point, apparently. So so I knew it was going to take a team. I knew I was going to have to like really have people who were on board, who had big goals for themselves. So, so I plan to have a retreat the first weekend in March. I don't even know when I planned that, probably in January. Thinking, well, if we can get together the first weekend in March, retreats are powerful. Getting together, telling stories, getting to know each other is powerful. I mean, it just was good timing. So we did the first weekend in March, and I just really wanted people to understand my vision, why I was doing this, because it wasn't about it's not about ranking to a Sapphire, but like the ranks, all the goals. I need that to keep going, to keep growing. And so for me, I mean, it's kind of like that's the thing that makes you do the big jump. So so we did the retreat. Bonni was one of our speakers at the retreat. Thank you, Bonni. And people really, I mean, everybody was crying and telling their stories. And I mean, we we rented an Airbnb and we had to be out at 11. And my team wouldn't stop praying. I was like, oh my guys. It was beautiful, but I'm like starting to get a little stressed. Like, do I stop the work of God or do I or do I like I don't know what to do. But it was great. It was great. So so something I really talked about a lot going into it, and then that month was that we need to pray. We need to pray, and we need to pray for God to send people who need plexus, because I mean, we know how life-changing the products can be for our health, and then the impact in our families, the impact in our communities, impact in our marriages, in our finances, in our confidence, in our just abilities, right? It helps us grow. And that's one of the things I love about it. Bonnie, just tell me you're done. Your time's up when it's up. So, um, so I planned the retreat at the beginning of the month, and then and prayed, and then filled my calendar, because I know that we need to have events, and lots of events, and talking to people for it to happen, to grow by 1,000 points. So my calendar was full, and I ended up enrolling 6 people, by the way, too, and earned the watch. So I can do it. um, but also, I just kept like asking myself, like, what else could we do? What else haven't I talked about that really needs to be talked about? And so I normally, like I said, I normally don't really write notes on my calendar, but this month my calendar had a lot more notes on it, and I was like, because I'm working and I'm writing down the numbers and stuff and trying to figure it out again. And I wrote, like, talk about the money. People need money. And I don't mean nobody wants to talk about money, but people need money. So I talked about money with individually, in group chats, and like in my stories and in my posts. And I talked about the business and my why for doing the business, which, it's complicated. I have a lot of levels of why. So I was like, well, break it down, talk about each different one. Um, and then I just think there's so much power in invitation, in inviting people. So the retreat was a way to invite people. All the events are a way to invite people, inviting people to try the products, inviting people, just inviting people, and building relationships, and helping my team do the same thing. Just, what's the next event? What's the next invite? And I think that follow-ups are so much easier for people when you have something to invite them to, something to offer them, something else that you can share, not just like, what do you think? You ready? You know, I want to bring something else to the table every time I reach back out to someone. Um, and somewhat, you never know how someone's going to receive information and hear it the way they need to hear it that time. So maybe it is through a messenger event, maybe it's through a Zoom call, maybe it's through going, take them out for coffee. Um, so that's basically it. I did do a lot of incentives too. If you want to know about that, I'm happy to do it. But I did, like, um, I don't know, we did like challenges and did prizes. And I just, because again, I never know what's going to attract someone, and they're finally going to listen or read the post or jump in. So, I mean, even at the end of the month, I remember, because Easter was coming up. It wasn't as Easter. It was Easter Day. It was the last day of the month. That's right. And my mom, yeah, now I remember. My mom was hosting Easter dinner, and she knew I was going for it, and she remembered what it was like when I went for Emerald. And she's like, "So you're probably just like gonna show up and like go into another room and sit on your phone." I'm like, "No, I won't. It's Easter." And I didn't. We put all the work in Friday and Saturday, and then I actually turned off my phone. I don't think I turned it on until like 5 o'clock that evening. And then, and people were like, and I don't know if this is mean, but I just was at peace with where we were at. And if we didn't hit the numbers on Easter Day, we didn't. And if we did, we did. And so people were like, I need a $20 voucher. I need this to enroll someone. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that for you. I'm like, if you want to give that to your person, that's great. But I am not doing that today. I'm like, that's not something. I said, do you remember on Friday when I said today only I would offer $20 vouchers? I have 20, does anybody want them? And that's when it ended. So I was a little, I don't know, but I just had boundaries about it too. And I really was at peace. And we ended the month. I wrote it down somewhere. 3,058 points. So Yeah, it was really great. It was about deciding, and then it was putting a plan into place, and it took months really to get there. It wasn't just March.
Yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. I wonder if you would mind sharing one thing. There was someone in your life who respects you, who loves you, but sometimes would say things, sort of like, well, suppose you don't, or maybe you
Yeah.
should. How did you deal with that? Because that will happen probably to each of us. How did you deal with that? I remember you telling me.
Yes. Yes. Pretty sure that was my mom. you know. Um, but also, I mean, there's multiple people. My husband was another one. And so my mom and my husband, I realize, are trying to protect me and protect my heart and protect, what seems like a challenge, or also, you know, they see the hard parts of it, because it's not like there aren't challenges through the month, and you're like, I thought it was going to happen, and then I don't think it's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen, and I have to like talk myself into it, and I'm like, no, Mary, remember, there's all 6 different ways that we can do this, and there's so I did say, I'm like, I need you to stop saying that to me, because it's going to happen. And so, like, I love you, I understand that you love me, but I need you to stop. And I just didn't need doubts. I had enough.
Yeah, thank you. And so everybody has doubts, but I love the way that she handled them. She had all these different, I just love everything that she said. We're going to keep this to the 30 minutes. And I wonder if people have questions for Marion herself. If you have a question, unmute yourself. And this is Marion, thank you. It's just wonderful to hear you. And her points are increasing. So she is on her way to diamond. Anybody have a question? Okay, if you think of one, you can add it into the chat. I'm going to just give you some points that I feel I'm also going to be going for Sapphire. I think one thing that Marion had shared with me previously, in addition to decide, set a time limit, let people know, because they pray for you. I prayed every day in March for Marion. I did not miss a day, because that's what we do, right? We're one plexus. So sometimes we're afraid, but if I tell them and don't do it, tell people we want to help each other. And I came up with the ways that I got to Emerald and that I'm going to be getting a Sapphire. Some of them are the same and some of them are a little different. I'll just share that with you. The first one I'm really strong about, BK, is it's mindset. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Get on the boat. I wish I could make a bumper sticker. Get on the boat, get on that cruise, plan for it, talk about it, put it on your calendar. Don't accept assignments. Don't volunteer to work in the church nursery or whatever that day, because you're going to be on a boat. You're going to be on a cruise. It's mindset. I met people on the last cruise that didn't even know about Plexus until the points for a cruise happened. And then they said, what? A free cruise? I'm in. They weren't even silver. They didn't even know what the products were. They had never been on the products. I met so many of those people. In fact, many of the people I met on the cruise had obtained more points for the cruise than I had, and most of them were senior silver and golds. So everybody can do it. It's a wonderful opportunity. The second thing is retention. Retention matters. I talk to people and I give them a 60 to 90-day vision. Oh, why? I'm so excited for you this month. Generally, I start people on triplex. There's going to be some healing going on in your gut. You're going to notice XYZ within the first 30 days. And then the 60 days, we're going to be tweaking it. We might add a product. We might change a product. That's when you're really going to start to see your body really respond, because we're working from the inside out. And then in the 90 days, so I am giving them a vision to stand on. We know statistically, if they can stay on the products for at least 60 days, I forget the number. It's a huge number of the fact that they'll feel much better and stay on the products longer. The third thing I've learned to do is we are not to be lone rangers. As Marion said, she probably could have done the math on her phone. How would I get 1,000 points at 6 points each? Oh, I'd have to enroll, I don't know what it is, 200 people? Well, we're not supposed to do it that way. That's not the way this works. How about if we get people to gold? How about if we get 3 people to gold each month? How about if you are just starting, you get to silver this month? We're not to do this alone. We don't need to acquire all those points ourselves. And so we work together. And so what I do is before they even get their products, I'm talking to them. I know you haven't received your products yet, but it's much more fun to try these products with 3 people. That's what I did. I did my sister-in-law, my best friend, and my one of my daughter-in-laws. Who can you think of? And they might say, no, 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 no. Okay. Then when they get their products, hey, you got your products. Have you thought of anybody that you'd love to run with, to try these with you? And then I do it again after 2 or 3 weeks. And then each month I say, okay, you're doing great. We can't keep this good news to ourselves. So just keep that in your mind. Silver, senior silver, gold, helping more people. Number 4, the fourth, events. Marion said it so well. Have events, events, events. Events create leaders. It's the way to do it. You say, Bonni, I don't know. Sip and Sees, virtuals, our teams, BK's team and Brenda's team have so many events each week. They're already planned for us. And the Plexus brand ambassador community has events. Get them into that. And I can help you personally if you want more personal ideas. Number 4, share testimonials. It's third-party validation. Before people even get their products, I have sent them 3 testimonials that deal with their health goals. Oh, I'll say, I found another one. Here it comes. Because as soon as they click order, sometimes people get, I just spent $180. I never sort of told my husband. I did tell him it's on sale. Did you ever do one of those things? Like this dress was on sale. It was 75% off, but you never told him it was like $800, that kind of thing. So people start to doubt themselves sometimes. Send them testimonials. All right, not only that, but, and if you're on my team, you know this, every single month, I contact every level 1 of mine. I have people that have been with me since 2016 when I started. They are still ordering. And every month, I don't contact them about Plexus unless there's a sale or a special product. I'll just contact them because it's a relationship-based business. That really helps. All right, and the 5th thing I've learned is, and BK can help you, Brenda can help you, most of the uplines on here can help you. Are you mapping out what you want each month? Do you understand numbers? Numbers don't define us, but numbers help us tremendously. I used to be afraid of my back office. I'd sort of go in like this, like, did I drop a point? Don't do that. So, and there's a reason. Every day I see this. It's at my desk in my kitchen. I walk and I see it. And my brain, they have figured this out. People much smarter than me. When you actually see something and you're going for goals and your brain sees it, your brain thinks of ways to fill in those blanks. You say, well, Bonni, I'm looking at that. I just took a screenshot of that, Bonni, and you don't have every blank filled in. The month's not over yet. And this doesn't own me. This is my goal. So those are 5 things that I have learned. If I went too quickly, you can message me privately and I'll go over that with you again. Everybody on this call can be on that cruise. I believe Plexus was God's answer to my prayers. I believe for many of you, it's the same thing. I know BKs, we've talked about it. People can make fun of that. God answered your prayer with Plexus? Yes. My entire life has changed. I don't think I'd have my oldest son with me alive without Plexus. I got to talk about that at the event we had on Sunday. This was God's answer to me. It changes people's lives. I feel guilty if I don't tell people. Because suppose Charlotte Seams had never told me. That's the way we enter this. That's what drives us. It's wonderful. It's an opportunity. BK, I'll let you close it. I appreciate everybody who came.
Well, Marion and Bonnie, that was so strengthening. You guys, we had inspiration and we had solid practical training. The fact of the matter is tonight, we can decide what we are going to do and start mapping out what Marion said. What is this going to take? Guys, let's get curious. Go to people that love you and ask them to help you start brainstorming the 5 or 6 different ways that you could accomplish this goal that you have. That is what we are here for, okay? We love you. Thank you for every single word. That was very, very encouraging. I want to see each and every one of your faces on that boat. I will hug you and squeeze you to death, and we will celebrate together. This is going to take some grit. It's going to take showing up. It's going to take cutting out the stuff that's cutting you down, whether it be old garbage in your ear, whether it be maybe some people that you might need to unfollow for a little bit. It could mean cutting out areas where you are wasting time that you haven't realized, oh my goodness, I just scrolled for 15 minutes. I want to share something just as we're ending. Michelle Clifton and I were talking here earlier. She's a senior Ruby on my team. And I was going back in my mind when I had 4 little kids and I was going senior Ruby. And I look back on that year, my first year in Plexus, with fondness, because I had no extra time to spare. I had no time to watch movies. I had no time to scroll. I just had I knew I had to reach out to people about Plexus, and I knew I needed to post, and I needed to just tell my team what I was doing, where I was going, to help them come with me. You guys, and the rest was spent with my little children, homeschooling them, teaching them to be kind to one another, right? Feeding them, bathing them, reading to them. Have your non-negotiable set for your family and your non-negotiables for your business. Commit your way to the Lord and your plans will succeed. He will give you wisdom forward, okay? Okay, love you so much. Love seeing babies on this call. Hello, baby Ray. I see you, baby. Good night, guys. Thank you again, Bonnie and Marion. Wonderful.